Time to talk about the trash anime. No, not that trash, shonen trash, though this time I mean that literally. If you're anything like me, you can't help but love some good action anime. We get to live out our crazy power fantasies through these stories, from childhood into adulthood, like standing up to your nutcase bullies, aura farming as your job, going to another world and building a harem. Wait, no, that's a different genre with different fantasies. There are so many things that keep us coming back to the shonen genre, beyond the action. There's hopefully good characters and writing, a thought-provoking story, and an interesting world to get immersed in. The ones that offer us a full suite are rare, but they're the ones that go beyond the title of shonen trash. Except for the topic of this video, which represents the very best of shonen and still can't escape that title, with a world of trash and characters that love trash. There's a lot to love about Gachiakuta. It's like Borderlands and anime got together in that one Overwatch map and had a baby. A baby with great character writing, crazy action, fire art, and what's probably the most interesting world since One Piece. How can a world of literal garbage be so damn compelling? The mysteries of this world alone will constantly keep you coming back. Which is great, a story's setting is very important, so it's good it gets that right. But in my mind, a story's most compelling trait is usually its characters. And Gachia's characters are great, so why isn't it them that stands out the most? Well, in a way, it is. The world of Gachiakuta is treated by the author as a character in itself, and it's written as such. It has flaws, arcs, and levels of depth that make us more attached to it the deeper our knowledge of it gets. Good world building isn't a new thing in anime. As I mentioned, it's something One Piece has always excelled in, and there are many other stories that nail it consistently. There are also just as many that suck at it. I was curious about what made some so much better at it than others. Beyond the obvious stuff, like some writers planning and thinking through their story ahead of time, and others just making it up as they go, like they're building a plane mid-flight. This one line from Gachia sums it up perfectly. Now not only does that line in itself tell you loads about the world they live in, it also sums up the way the author, Kei Urana, treats the world building of her story. She doesn't give us any information for free. Questions aren't easily answered in Gachia, its mysteries aren't easily solved. We have to work for it, and because the story's other aspects are so good, we have no problem doing that. It's a type of writing that keeps us working alongside the characters. The more we learn, the more we want to know. It constantly keeps us engaging with the story, with the characters, with the world, and there's nothing better for a story than an engaged audience. So something I've always hated in the anime manga world is bad narration. It's just lazy, and it's not at all compelling. Got an action scene? Who cares how it's drawn? I'll just tell them what's happening. Some important world building they need to know? Write it out. No, that's cheating. It's not even a tenth as engaging as delivering info organically or drawing a fight scene well enough that you can see what's going on. Come on man, narration can be great, One Piece again, and when it's used for comedic purposes. Basically, when it complements the story rather than takes it over. It's a crutch for authors, which is why when a shonen has no narration at all, it gives off a confident vibe. Gachia's story, be it world building, fight scenes, whatever, is delivered to us through only the characters and the art. It keeps us grounded in the world, and it's so effective because the characters and the art are awesome. Alright, let's run down the list. First, we have our main boy, Rudo. He's the guy with the trash taste. Rudo has a similar perspective to the audience, as he also knows nothing about the world he's dropped into. A lot of what we learn comes from our shared desire to know more. Rudo's a fun character, he's got lots of growing to do and that's always compelling. Actually, all the characters in the main cast are written with lots of room to grow. The average Joe, Zanka, has his inferiority complex. Rio has some unknown trauma and is suppressing something truly terrifying. And Engine is cool, hot, strong, and yeah, actually this guy's just perfect. I've also got to give some love to the villains, which we don't know much about yet, but so far, they're probably my favourite part of the story. Gachia boasts quite a diverse world of nothing but oddballs, really. The world of Gachiakuta is too harsh for anyone sane to live in, but that certainly gives it a charm that a lot of other stories don't have. I mean, anime has plenty of oddballs, but I feel like it's because the medium in itself allows you to write extreme characters in a way others don't. In other words, often they're odd because they can be, not because of the world they live in. It's also why Gachia's more ordinary characters are shown to be from more stable parts of the world. Half of what we learn about the story and the world is delivered to us through these characters via their dialogue or their own experiences. It's a good method of delivery and one that's very familiar to us as people. We are inherently social creatures. Even though I'd say my life disproves that, technically it's still true. Interacting with people is how we learn and grow, apparently. The same is true for Gachia's characters, which makes them feel very familiar to us. Despite some of them being oddball weirdos, they still feel human. They're grounded in the world they live in. I've been talking about the anime and manga as if they're one, and usually it's fine to do that, they're both interpretations of the same story, but when you're talking about how the story is conveyed, like I am, there are differences. For example, anime has audio, so despite me saying that everything is conveyed through the art and the characters, for the anime it's also conveyed through the music and sound design. These differences are never more forefront than in the art. Both are visual mediums of storytelling, but the art of Gachia's manga is just something else, man. The art style is one of the most visually interesting I've seen. It fits the story perfectly and it's so engaging. It basically does whatever it wants with camera angles, paneling, inking. There was some very recent flashback stuff that was drawn in this pencil sketch style, with the panels being rough and uneven and the characters all looking faded. What an innovative way to draw a memory. I love stuff like this. It has so much style to it. When someone's having a mental flip out, the art flips out too. In my video about Fragrant Flower, I spoke about how the art was great at showing emotion. It does that through incredible detail, giving us a realistic depiction of people. However, Gachia isn't bound by having to resemble our world. It has the freedom to distort characters' faces and embrace its wackiness. The borderlands are covered in graffiti and warped by garbage. We can see people have no interest in keeping things neat or clean. They embrace the lack of order and the world's chaos through street art and architecture. The exact opposite of the clean, well-maintained streets of the sphere. It's the fact that it's drawn so distinctly that makes this world stand out from the others. You can see what it's like, rather than a character or narration simply telling you. It speaks for itself. Which is what I mean when I say the world itself is a character. We feel connected to it as an audience in the same way we do to the other characters. It's an incredibly memorable act of storytelling, and in my opinion, it's what makes Gachiakuta so special. Because I can't think of many other stories that compel me to keep reading out of curiosity alone. Its mysteries are so damn interesting. I think at the point of writing this, we are at the stage where some of the bigger questions need to start being answered. I have faith that they will though, and that faith is what keeps me reading. I do have a soft spot for this type of storytelling, where the writer gives you pieces and encourages you to put them together yourself. In the end, the world is just the setting for the story. It's ultimately the character's journey that matters. That's what we love about shonen, that's what we love about anime. But Gachia is proof that writing a compelling world can change the way that journey hits us. So if you're not already watching or reading Gachia, I'd really recommend giving it a shot. You'll probably find something far more interesting than you were expecting from a typical shonen trash. And if you are already, then please feel free to share your thoughts about it in the comments. Thanks for watching.